Hello and welcome to the Strategy of the Week for September 14th. My name is Angel Clark, Director of International Sales. Over the years of working with VectorVest, I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of investors. And over again, I hear the same concerns. One of the biggest is it too late to get in? Everyone seems to be worried that they're buying at the top. And that's a very valid concern. So imagine what it could do for your portfolio, for your confidence, to actually be able to sense when the market is peaking out. Well, that's exactly what this week's presentation is about. A tool that seems to have the amazing ability to do exactly that. Detect market tops even before the market corrects. Let's go to Dr. DeLito's essay, and he explains exactly how VectorVest makes this possible. This week's essay is called the GLB RT Kicker. The GLB RT Kicker is a new indicator that makes it easier than ever to make money with VectorVest. It has two parts. GLB, which stands for Green Light Buyer, and the RT Kicker is an indicator which confirms GLB signals based upon crossovers of a 10-day RT moving average and a 15-day RT moving average. The Green Light Buyer concept was first introduced on August 21, 2009 in an essay I wrote called Become a Green Light Buyer. The logic of this concept was simple. VectorVest advocates buying rising stocks in rising markets. So why not buy stocks when the color guard signals a green light in the price column? Early experience was favorable, and the idea took hold. Over the years, we learned that the best time to buy stocks was when the market was rising from a bottom. So we taught our users to begin buying stocks at the first appearance of a green light in the price column of the color guard after a confirmed down signal had been given. This was a great time to go bottom fishing and bargain hunting. So we also taught our users to select stocks from one of our great bottom fishing strategies. This guidance often produced phenomenal results, but it wasn't perfect. This bothered me, so I wrote an essay on March 23, 2012 called Green Light Buyer's Guide to When to Buy. In this essay, I said that all green lights are not the same, so they should not be used with impunity. I went on to explain that green lights which appear at the beginning of a rally are much more effective than those that appear at the end of rallies. This is true, but how does one know when a rally is near its end? The answer to this question also bothered me, so I worked on the problem and finally came up with the RT Kicker. Have you ever noticed that our relative timing RT indicator often starts going down while price is still rising? The reason for this phenomenon is that RT senses momentum. It knows when the rate of price increase is slowing down, and I've used the divergence in the direction of the VectorVest composite price movement and the RT level to sense market tops. So I needed to create an easy, irrefutable way of interpreting this information. The RT Kicker does the job. Now for the rest of this essay, we're going to actually go into the market timing graph so you can see what Dr. DeLito is describing. So we'll go up to the top, click on Graphs, and switch to a market timing graph. Dr. DeLito's essay continues to say, take a look at a 6-month view of the market timing graph. Set it up so that only price is shown in the upper portion and RT in the lower portion. So we already have the price of the VectorVest composite and relative timing for the last year. So we'll switch this to 6 months. And he says that note that the price of the VectorVest composite was going up in the last days of March, but the RT was going down. Now add the green light buyer signals to the graph. Note that there are 8 green lights prior to the low price of June 4th. So these are the lights that he's referring to, these green triangles. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 signals. And these were caused because there was a green light in the price column of the color guard that you see on the home page. Now that only happens when price is rising both week over week as well as day over day. He goes on to say that all of these signals preceded sharp downturns. They were all troublemakers. Next he says to please remove relative timing from the graph and instead add the simple moving averages. So we're going to right click and choose add moving average, simple, 10. And we're just going to do that again. They'll be at the bottom of our parameter list, and we're going to leave one as a 10 and change the other to a 15. And we'll take off that RT. Since we want to buy stocks only when the 10-day RTMA is above the 15-day RTMA, we kick the troublemakers out of the picture when the 10-day RTMA is at or below the 15-day RTMA. So what we're saying is that when this light blue line, that's our 10-day moving average of relative timing, is above this pink line, that's our 15-day, that's when we would listen to the green lights. We would not follow a green light that occurred when the 10-day was below the 15-day, as you see in this area right here. And you can see it in several more areas, more critically here and here. So I want you to watch that upper portion of the graph as I switch from the original green light buyer to the GLB RT Kicker. Huge difference. Now we see the confirmed green light signals. We're confirming them using that relative timing moving average crossover. And voila! 7 of the 8 naughty green lights are gone. In fact, there's the only one that remains. And of course, even with that one, you would have quickly been rescued by that confirmed down signal that happened just shortly after. Now what about the upside though? The first green light to appear after June 4th showed up on June 18th, the same day of a confirmed up signal. The first green light from a low point will usually appear even before the confirmed up signal. So the GLB RT Kicker will get you into the market early enough to go bottom fishing, and it will stop appearing before a confirmed down signal. This can serve as an early warning signal of a rally that is losing steam and should help you preserve your profits. So what we really need to do now is see this in action. We'll turn to our back tester and see how this new kicker performs. We'll use the default of 100,000, $9.95 per trade. And I don't think we're going to make any changes in advance, but let me check. No margin, no interest. We're going to buy and sell at the next day's open, so still suitable for end of day traders. And we're going to be in daily pricing mode. For our timing, you'll only see this section if you have the auto tester, and the auto tester makes this so incredibly easy to test your ideas. And since VectorVest wants everyone to be able to take advantage of this, make sure you use the link in the views to get your 2-week free trial and $100 off. You'll find that link right at the bottom of Dr. Delito's essay. With that, I'll switch to our green light buyer kicker timing signal. Here are the rules for you. Notice that for an up signal, we do have to have the green light, but as confirmation, we also need the 10-day moving average of relative timing to be above the 15-day. The down signal for the green light buyer remains the same. That's going to be a confirmed down signal. That's when we'll exit out of all of our positions. But with the green light buyer system, whether we're using the original or the GLB RT Kicker, we do have a neutral situation, and that's caused anytime there's not a green light in the price column of the color guard. And in the case of the kicker, a neutral situation would also occur if the 10-day simple moving average of RT was below or the same as the 15-day simple moving average of relative timing. Moving on, we're going to select our search, and for this one, I've selected VST Mighty Mites. Still focused on bottom fishing, but bottom fishing for high growth stocks. And by growth, I mean earnings growth. For our stop criteria, we're going to go to gain loss, and we will choose a 50% gain, 10% loss. Now if you notice, this is the same stop loss that we've been using so successfully with the bottom fishing model portfolio that's S&P 500 stop ascending. We'll also go to more settings, and we'll only choose 5 positions. Now I did a lot of testing. 5 positions seem to work best with VST Mighty Mites. You could do more, but if you did more, I would suggest legging in, only buying a maximum of 2 on any given day. We are going to automatically replace closed positions since we have auto tester. We'll try to open all of our positions immediately in this case, and we need to take this check mark off. So every time I get a green light and get confirmation, I don't want to close everything that I've got. I just want to continue because I'm going to have those neutral signals in between. That's all the changes I'm going to make here. Now I'm going to go to my down signal, and for a confirm down, I'm going to go to cache. My neutral signal is a little different. When I have a neutral signal, I'm just going to coast by choosing no action. So I'm not going to pick up anything new. If I do have stocks in my portfolio, I'm just going to let my stops manage those positions. My test period, let's go with this year. So we'll start December 30th. And we'll go ahead and take it to current. And then we'll give this strategy a name. Click Finish and Run. And that looks pretty darn good to me. Remember, 2012 had that nasty downturn that bottomed in June. That put most people right back where they started. But with this GLB Kicker, we were actually able to stair-step our portfolio, and we ended up for the year with a 44% gain. Now, if I minimize this graph a little bit, now the really incredible part is that we were able to achieve that gain in this market with a 12.5% drawdown. But you might be wondering just how big of a difference that kicker made. So let's try running this same exact setup, but with the original green light buyer. We'll just click on copy and change out the timing system. We'll change our name and click finish. Ooh. Huge difference. And the only thing we changed was we added the kicker. That kicker took us from a 3% gain to a 44% gain. And it cut the drawdown to less than half. That is pretty incredible. But I'm sure you want to see how it works out on a little bit longer term basis. So let's extend our time period a little bit. Let me show you the original first. We'll copy this one. And now the change that I'll make is in my start date. So we'll go back to 2009. We'll select March, and the first green light appeared on the 17th. So we'll select that as our start date. And I'll just name this one 2009 and run it. So let's see the numbers for the original. The original gained from beginning to end 80%. That's an annualized rate of return of 22% a year. Not bad. The drawdown, however, was pretty ugly. That was 45%. Let's see if we can do any better just by using our kicker. So we'll copy it, switch to the GLB RT Kicker. We've got our dates, March 17th, 2009 to current. And we'll just fix up our title and see what happens. So I would say the RT Kicker improved things just a little bit. We went from an 80% total gain to over a 300% total gain over that 3-year period. And let's see if it helped our volatility any. We took it from a 45% drawdown to a 22% drawdown. So you got more than 4 times the annualized rate of return with less than half the drawdown just by using the new GLB RT Kicker. I think this is one of the most exceptional tools that VectorVest has ever produced, and I know we'll be doing a lot more testing in future with this. So get your auto tester trial and do a little testing of your own, because now that we've automated the GLB RT Kicker, it's easier than ever to make money with VectorVest. And that brings us to the end of our presentation. Thanks so much for joining me, and have a wonderful evening.